Hi friends, welcome back to SBK English Academy YouTube channel for English UGC NET and KSET. This channel is preparing the videos on English literary theory and English literature. I hope these videos will help you to prepare well for UGC NET and KSET examination. So we have been discussing about romantic case and especially that romantic poetry. Already we have been discussed Robert Sude, Lord Byron, and John Keats. In today's class, we will discuss that romantic poetry, the great poets William Wordsworth and William Blake and their literary career. What are their works? What are their critical works to this English literature? So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you do subscribe, and then all videos will come to your mobile and you will watch and prepare well for the next coming examination. First, we will discuss that Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was born at Cockermouth, Cumberland in 1770. He was an English romantic poet who, with Coleridge, helped to launch the Romantic age in English literature. Listen, this William Wordsworth and Coleridge, these are the dominating figures who launched together that romanticism in England. He was regarded as a great nature poet. He loved nature, that Wordsworth said himself that nature is a teacher. So that's why that Wordsworth is called as a nature poet. He was a poet laureate from 1442 to 1850. See, after Lord Tennyson, Wordsworth was the poet laureate of England. He had a sister, Dorothy Richardson, a poet and diarist. He was one of the member of Lake Poets with Coleridge and Southey. See, William Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Southey, these are the Lake District poets. So that's why these three poets are called a Lake group of poets. Remember this point. He first published his sonnet, The European Magazine, in European Magazine in 1787. In November 1791, he visited revolutionary France and fell in love with Annette Vallon. William Wordsworth first work, so that is preface to the lyrical ballads. This preface to the lyrical ballads helped in England to launch the romanticism. So this lyrical ballad was published in 1798. So this is called as a fruit of Renaissance, and it created a revolution in English literature of that England by launching romanticism in England. See, this is a joint work by both William Wordsworth and Coleridge. You know, William Wordsworth and Coleridge were both close friends. See, this book, which is often considered the start of the revival of Romanticism in England, appeared in 1798. In the second edition, the preface was added to it in 1800. See, when the preface to Lyrical Ballad was published at the first time in 1798, that a preface was not added to this Lyrical Ballads. So when it was republished or in the second edition, Coleridge, not Coleridge, that Wordsworth added preface to this Lyrical Ballads in 1800. His preface to Lyrical Ballad is considered important in the history of criticism of English literature. It is a collaborative, see, preface to the Lyrical Ballad is a collaborative work of William Wordsworth and S.P. Coleridge. It is consisted of 24 poems. See, you remember this work consists of 24 poems. Four poems were written by S.T. Coleridge, and remaining 19 poems were written by William Wordsworth. It begins with the poem The Ancient Mariner, The Rime of Ancient Mariner, written by S.T. Coleridge, and ends with the poem Tinternabé, which is written by William Wordsworth. You remember these points? See, Lyrical Ballad was published at the first time in 1798, and it was added preface and again published in 1800, and it was the joint work or the collaborative work of William Wordsworth and Coleridge. You know, William Wordsworth and Coleridge are very close friends. This lyrical ballad is consisted of 24 poems. Among these 24 poems, 4 poems were written by Coleridge, and the remaining 91 poems were written by Wordsworth. So this lyrical ballad work or the book starts with the rime of the ancient mariner of Coleridge's poem and ends with the Tinternabé of Wordsworth's poem. The question will be asked, how many poems are written by Wordsworth and how many poems are written by William Coleridge, and how many poems are there in this lyrical ballads, when it was published, huh? When that preface was added to it, so which is the beginning poem, which is the ending poem of the lyrical ballad. Such kind of questions may ask on this work. So you have to keep all these points. If it is necessary or needful to you, you better to make note in your notebook. So now the second work of William Wordsworth, that is Prelude, or the growth of a poet's mind. See, Prelude is the great work after lyrical ballad. This is the second great work of William Wordsworth. So, Prelude or the growth of poet's mind. The growth of a poet's mind is the subtitle of the subtitle of the Prelude. So this Prelude is published in 1850. See, he intended when that Wordsworth wrote this prelude or the growth of a poet's mind, he intended to write a single great poem under the caption or the name The Recluse. This poem was intended to give a comprehensive treatment of nature, man, and society. His intention was that his prelude or the growth of a poet's mind should introduce the recluse. The first book of recluse is the Home at German, and which was published posthumously. Posthumously means after the death of the author, that work is published, or which if the work is published after the death of the author, that is called posthumously. The second book was Excursion. See, the third was never completed by the poet. See, what about the prelude? So it is very important to know what that prelude work contains. What about that prelude? What is the specialty of prelude? How was the plan of that prelude? See, it is a semi-autobiographical poem. Most of the poems which are included in this prelude are relating to the childhood days of William Wordsworth. See, it is a semi-autobiographical poem. This is the autobiographical poem of William Wordsworth. Many poems of this collection or this book describe the childhood days or the experience of Wordsworth as a child. See, after writing this poem, Wordsworth's intellectual mind was expanded. So that's its subtitle is The Growth of a Poet's Mind. This poem was started in 1799 and was completed in 1805 and published in 1850. It was published in 1850 only after his death, means after the death of Wordsworth. This final version of the poem, The Recluse, contains 14 books. The subtitle of the book, again, I am remembering, The Growth of a Poet's Mind, and it is an autobiographical poem of Wordsworth. It contains many childhood elements, autobiographical element of Wordsworth in it. It is an account of Wordsworth's growth and development as a poet. In this poem, he described his childhood experience. So that's why it is called as autobiographical poem. The influence of French Revolution also forms a major part of the poem. Richard Clarke describes this poem, Wordsworth's poem, as lyrical Bildungsroman and chronologically structures the 14 book as follows. You have to understand the meaning of the Bildungsroman. The Bildungsroman, it relating to the main character of that drama or novel. If that main character or the exponent of that drama or novel builds his career or develops his career in all fields, so that kind of novel or drama or any story is called as Bildungsroman, or the development of the exponent or the main character of that novel or drama. So that is Bildungsroman novel or Bildungsroman drama, we can say. Next, what does the 12 parts of the prelude deal with? Each part deal with different matter. Of this prelude, you have to understand this work prelude contains 12 parts. Divide that Wordsworth divided this book into 12 parts. That first book 1 to 1 and 2 deals with Wordsworth's childhood and school time experience, very much enamored, attracted with nature. Enamored means attracted. And book 3, residence at Cambridge University, growing alienation from nature and self absorption. Book 4, summer vacation. Book 5 describes the books he read. Book 6, his experience at Cambridge University and on walking expeditions in the Alps, Epiphany on one climb. And book 7, residence in London, depressing first-hand encounters with the downtrodden, the disenfranchised, and example of man's inhumanity to man. And book 8, restore restorative insight, how the law of nature needs to man. And 9 to 11, sorry, 10 and 11, his experience in France both before and after the revolution and its negative impact on him and his disappointment with the bloody outcome of the French Revolution. Book 12 to 13, the climax of the poem, and 14, so that is conclusions. See, the key concept of Wordsworth's Prelude is the spots of time. The question may asked, in which of the following poem that Wordsworth used his key concept, that is the spots of time. Remember, the spots of time is a concept or a phrase introduced by William Wordsworth. The other works of Wordsworth, so except that lyrical ballad and the prelude, so many important works are there in English literature by Wordsworth. Those are The Rainbow and Solitary Reaper. Solitary Reaper is a famous poem of Wordsworth. To a Skylark, See, Yarrow Visited, Lucy Gray, She dwelt among the trodden. See, you have to read this She dwelt among the trodden poem and Solitary Reaper. The question may ask on these individually, on these two poems. Being you are preparing for the net and set, you have to read these poems very clearly. The lines are taken from these two poems and the themes also taken. So daffodils, sonnets, and also beside all these poems and critical work, that Wordsworth also wrote some sonnets. You know, sonnets is nothing but a 14 line iambic pentameter. So first one on Milton, on Westminster Bridge, The world is too much with us. The world is too much with us is a famous sonnet by William Wordsworth. See, now we have discussed up to this that Wordsworth, what are the works written by Wordsworth. Now in the next slide we will discuss that William Blake. Blake is also one of the important romantics or romantic poet. See, William Blake was born in 1757 in Soho, London, in England. He was an English poet, painter, and printmaker. Remember, William Blake is an English poet, painter, and printmaker. He did not attend the formal education long enough. He is regarded as the seminal figure first the history of the poetry and visual arts of the Romantic age. He was also admitted to the Royal Academy of Art School of Designs because he was a painter, where he began exhibiting his own works in 1780. He published his first collection of poems, Poetical Sketches, privately in 1783. It was not great success. He developed as a method of illuminated printing. You have to remember this phrase will be asked in your examination. Who introduced the phrase or the method illuminated printing for the production of his publication? See, the main important works of William Wordsworth are all religions are one, second one, there is no nature religion, third, Songs of Innocence. This very important work by William Blake. And the Book of Tale, The Marriage of Heaven. This is the critical work of William Blake. This is also very important. Read it very carefully. And Songs of Experience. Songs of Experience. This also important. In an island in moon, the French Revolution. It may be asked French Revolution, the Four Jones. So among these, Songs of Innocence and the Marriage of the Hell and Heaven, Songs of Experience. So these three works are very important on the exam point of KSET and NUT. The question may be taken on these three poems. You have to read which are the song, which poems are the song Innocence, which poems are Experience. You have to understand. For example, Lamb, Chimney Sweepers, these good poems written by William Blake, these poems are songs of comes under Songs of Innocence. And the Poison Tree, and that is another one, Tiger. So these two poems comes in that Songs of Experience. The question may be asked by giving any three in the Songs of Innocence or three Songs of Experience or poems of experience. He may ask which of the following is not Innocence, or which of the following is not Songs of Experience poem. So you have to identify that. So that's why you have to familiarize with the poems which are Songs of Experience and which are Songs of Innocence. And also you give special care to this, the Marriage of Hell and Heaven, because in the previous case this question was asked. So this is the critical work by William Blake. And then Four Jones, the Song of Liberty, and other works. See, and all religions are on. There is a nature religion, Songs of Innocence, the Book of Tale. Again, I am repeating the Marriage of the Heaven and Hell, Songs of Experience, In an Island in the Moon, the French Revolution, the Four Jawas, the Song of Liberty. This slide is repeated. Okay. Blake's mythological universe. The question may asked on this also. Blake's mythology is based on four Jawas, who forms the four aspects of Albion primeval man. Blake derived the term from the Greek root for alive living, that is the eternal parts of man, or as Blake called the living in eternity. Each of the Jawas also has an emanation or a female portion. The maternal Inian is an emanation from Thormus. The celestial Ahania is an emanation from Origin. The seductive Wala, an emanation from Lua. The musical Anitharmon is an emanation from Lo. The question may be asked on these all these Jawas also. Huh? So you have to careful about these. So Blake's mythology. How that Blake's mythology? For what are those four Jawas and what do those four Jawas represent? The question may be asked in matching. Especially this kind of questions are asked in UGC net. So you have to remember this. What are the four Jawas and what do those four Jawas uh, represent? The first one, Thormus, instinct and strength. See, origin, intellect and reason. Lua, so that is love and passion. Loss or arthana, it represents imagination. So these are the four Jawas represented by Blake's mythology. See, now we have to look at songs of innocence and songs of experience. So the question may ask on this work. It is one of the very important work of that William Blake. See, Blake's Songs of Innocence consisted of 19 poems. Remember this. Blake's Songs of Innocence book consists of 19 poems. Was first published in 1789. So this is first point. Remember. And second, Songs of Experience was published in 1794. This volume contained 26 poems. 26 poems. See, these were first published as a combined volume in 1794. According to Blake, these songs are showed the two contrary states of human soul. So that is songs of experience and innocence. Here, the innocent world of childhood is juxtaposed against an adult world of innocence. See, the main important work of critical work of William Blake is that is the marriage of the heaven and the hell. The question is set in the previous set question paper on this. See, what is the speciality of this book? What does this book deal with? See, it is a pathetic prose poem, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. See, the title is an ironic reference to Swedenborg's theological work, Heaven and Hell. Remember this, this may also asked. This work begins with the poem, The Argument, in which Blake introduces his prophetic character, Rintra. It ends with another poem, A Song of Liberty, in which Blake celebrates a revolution and foresees a new age of political and religious freedom. It describes, it means the marriage of the heaven and hell describes the poet's visits to hell, a device adopted from Dante's Inferno and Milton's Paradise Lost. So, in this in this book that William Blake criticized John Milton's Paradise Lost. In this book that William Blake criticized that Paradise Lost, in this book that William Blake said that Paradise Lost is a devil's work, devil's workshop. So the demonic book he criticized in this way. I think okay, this is today's end of this today's class. So if you are interested to and some more videos, you can find in YouTube also on the name of SBK English Academy. Or you do subscribe to my channel, you will get all the videos which I am preparing relating to the UGC NET and KSET. Thank you for watching these videos. Prepare well.